Brando and Tom.
Hey, kid!
Welcome to Ball Busters, a show for fans by fans. From who's hot, like Tom Brady, to who's not, like Dak Prescott, to what's on the menu for the tailgate, everything in between and all around. I'm your dual threat quarterback, Danny Feedback. Lining up way too close behind me is our running back, the guru of good brew, Brando.
Let's drink some brew.
As always, flanked out wide is our diva receiver, Big T, Little Odd.
Here I am.
And our star player, MVP, most valuable producer. That's right. The man who doesn't even want to be named. All right. You're listening to the Ball Busters. If you have a sport, chances are we will bust your balls. Yeah. What's going on, Brando?
What's up? Am my mic on?
Yeah, it is.
It's on.
Let's drink some brew-hoo-hoos. Todd, how are you doing today?
I'm okay, just hanging out, doing my thing. I'm just waiting for you to say something so I can interrupt you halfway through your making your explanation, and then I'm just going to sit here and drink some more of this whiskey. How about you?
You sound like your normal self tonight.
Yeah, he sounds good to me. I don't know what's going on with him, dude.
Yeah.
Looks sharp, too.
He looks great tonight.
Well, thanks, guy. That's the first time I've ever been complimented on my looks.
You're cool. You're cool, Todd. I don't know what you're doing tonight, but you're freaking cool, man.
You look better than ever tonight, Big T, Little
He
Odd.
really does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
It's almost like I can't even see him.
I missed him the past couple weekends, and I come over here, and it's like, I mean, I heard he was wearing that dress at his draft party.
The Dolly Parton dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, he picked the first one you put him in.
Well, now, hold on a second, guys. The whole reason I picked that one because it made me look voluptuous. I had a hell of a draft, I think I'm going to win the league this year.
You really, Todd? You really think you're going to win the league?
Well, of course I'm going to win the league, Mr. Feedback. With your help, I'll show up next year with all the money and I'm going to wear the dress again.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, unbelievable.
Did you have a moment with yourself later that evening?
It went over well. Some of the guys were looking at me, laughing at me, and then once they started drinking, they were started hitting on me, and I've been uncomfortable at work ever since.
I'm sorry to hear that. We didn't expect that to happen. But you did look pretty hot as Dolly Parton.
Oh, thank you. I'm just trying to do my part.
Oh, whoa. Very quick-witted tonight, Todd.
That's a punt.
Very good. Is that the first time he's ever done
I
that?
think
so, yeah.
too much whiskey tonight, I believe.
I'm working on it, guys.
Oh, man. Well, what you been up to, Brando?
Well, season is starting. The Dolphins are firing on all cylinders. People are comparing Tua to Dan Reno.
Oh, wait a second.
But I'm claiming that they are.
Oh, my gosh. Unbelievable.
He's throwing lasers.
All right. Okay.
We got our backup, Jacoby Brisket.
Hey, that's a pretty good backup,
I
actually.
like calling him Brisket, even though his name's Brissett.
Oh, we might have
And then-
brisket hot sauce this year.
Oh. And then Steve Sinnett, our third-string quarterback, had an amazing victory over the Cincinnati
I seen you
Bengals.
texting about that,
343 yards.
Dude was on fire.
He was on fire. And the Bucks couldn't even beat the backup squad for the Bengals, but the Dolphins did. Our backup squad will annihilate any backup squad in this game.
All right.
So, I don't know. We'll see. I got some more about that in the headlines later. So
Okay.
everybody stay tuned.
How are those receivers doing from the Dolphins? Are they back? I'm in the midst of fantasy season right now. I'm like, should I pick a receiver? I picked Will Fuller the other day. I know he can't play the first game, but he's actually, oddly enough, highest on the rankings. I'm like, let me just throw a dart at it. It's a late round pick.
I think he's going to get in there. He did have that PED suspension.
Yeah.
But I feel like
Wait a second, Brando. Wait a second. Now, let me tell you about PEDs, okay? Because, my mom's given me PEDs ever since I was in the womb, and I just don't see where they're outlawed at all. I mean, if anything, they should let the guy play extra games. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you, Todd. I agree with you on some level, but I'm sorry your mom did that to you. I'm kind of curious why.
just-
But
Yeah,
that
what kind
explains
of
a
mom
lot.
would do that?
Can I just say your Todd voice sounds like a combination between Bill Cosby and a toddler.
Yeah.
That's the same mental capacity of Todd.
Oh, come on, guys. That's not funny.
Oh man,
Oh, Lord.
I'm having some technical. If is your Wi-Fi on, Dirt?
It's on for me. I mean, we're broadcasting it right now.
Todd, close your laptop. He's always over here looking at like 3 things at one time.
I know.
Well, my brain's so big, I just don't know what to.
All right, Todd. Good Lord. You know what? I think it's time to just crank up the Nintendo music and get
You
into
wanna do it?
this. Yeah,
Get
I
into it?
mean,
Okay.
I mean,
All right,
this
here
is
we
just-
go.
This is what we got to do.
Here we go.
We got to do this, Todd. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Big T, Little On with the NBL and the NBW of the week.
All right, this week's NBLs and NBWs is brought by an ad that I can't read. So let's just get right into this, okay? This week's natural born winner on August 31st, 2021. That was like 3 or 5 days ago. I don't know. I can't really count that high. Look, Feedback's $200 buy-in fantasy football auction draft. I got Kelsey, and I got Mike Evans, and I got drunk as fuck.
Wait, was that one of the draft picks?
I think he selected drunk as fuck in the 13th round.
Okay, guys, hold on, let's calm down. Okay, the NBL this week, I saw at our local bar here in Orlando. I think it was St. Andrews or Will's Pub. I don't really know where I'm at any given time. Oh, here I am. Anywho, I saw a natural Brando lookalike. Yeah. Some snobby beer flight taster with IPAs and sours and stouts definitely had a resting bitter beer face. Well, Brando, I got you.
Yeah, that was me, probably.
I got you, Brando. No good comeback, huh?
That
You
was
want to
prob-
make a bet? You want to make a bet?
It was probably me.
Somebody want to punch me in my butthole? I'm willing on losing any bet. I'm ready to go here.
All right, Todd, can you just get on to this? This is the most horrible segment I've ever heard. I don't even know why we let you do this.
Okay. Okay. And one last NBW is me. Big T, Little Odd, is I'm currently not in Orlando, but instead I'm enjoying Labor Day weekend as an NBW, a Nebraska-bound wino. Well, it's true, Brando. I'm drunk as fuck, just like my draft pick, and I'm about to pull my pants down, bend over, and run backwards through a cornfield.
That's all they got in Nebraska's cornfields, Todd.
Well, I gotta be honest here. In Nebraska, every girl looks really fugly. Okay, this morning they were looking rough. But then at 8 a.m., I started drinking my best friend.
Started? What are you talking about, Todd? Don't you mean you started drinking with your best friend?
Well, hold on. No, Mr. Feedback. Now, you're definitely right most of the time. But this time you're not. Because I was drinking my best friend, Jack Daniels. And let me just say, after half a bottle later, like 9 a.m., my mom started looking really fucking hot.
Oh, Todd, this is not good humor. I don't know what you're doing over here. Brando, can you stop this?
Big T, Little Odd, you are in rare form in your Nebraska.
What is he doing, man?
But I don't know if I've ever seen a photo of Miss Middleton.
Well, let me just tell you. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, those PEDs she was shooting in the womb, she looks really freaking hot.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. No, I'm a big fan.
I saw Todd in a Dolly Parton dress, and he looks
That's
good.
exactly what she looks like.
Oh, don't insult her that way.
Oh no.
I think Todd would say the same thing were he here. No, do not insult her. She is a true woman, and Todd is a uncomfortable, awkward man-child trying to be a woman. That's totally different.
That's true. She's an NBW.
Our producer's sticking up for you tonight, Todd. You gotta.
No, I'm sticking up for Miss Middleton. I'm
Miss
sticking
Middleton.
for her. Yeah.
My mom's an NBW. I love you, Mom. You're a natural-born woman.
Well, that was a sweet way. That was very sweet.
Acknowledge your mother like that. Oh, man. I mean, after all, she gave you your life and PEDs in the womb.
That's good.
That explains why he knows so much about sports injuries.
Yeah,
and
he's
PEDs.
he's just conditioned for it.
He started so young.
Unbelievable. Oh Lord, you got anything else for us, Todd? All right. Well, let's take a little break. All right, and then when we come back, Brando's going to tell us how Todd went to the airport and actually passed his cavity search. You're listening to the Ball Busters. Woo!
You're listening to Ball Busters. You're listening to Ball Busters.
Yeah, back with the Ball Busters, man. There's news left. There's news right. There's news loose. There's news tight. I mean,
That
the
is
baseball is getting close to the playoffs over here.
Yeah.
The
Oh yeah,
football season's going to start this Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, my
This
gosh.
is regular season this Thursday.
Bucks.
This
Bucks and
Thursday,
the
yeah.
Cowboys. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Buccaneers team. I mean, that's Todd's
In
team,
Tampa.
dude. The Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Hey,
Cowboys got to go into.
You think Todd's going to streak?
I think he's going to try to. I don't know if he's going to be sober enough to get his clothes off.
Streaks in his shorts or streak on the field
He streaks in his shorts
Yeah. Skid marks.
before
yeah.
he even gets to work.
When is that? What week is that Dolphins game? You guys actually going to that Dolphins game?
Yes, that is October 10th, I think.
Nice. That's early on, like week 4 or
week,
something.
week 5, yeah.
Week 5.
Oh man.
Oh, buddy. That's going to be a good one. There's definitely some big bets.
Yeah. Oh, big
yeah.
time.
There's
I
gotta
think
be a
it's
lot
going
on
to
the
be.
line.
I mean, the Bucks have the weakest schedule in the NFL.
Do they really? Mm-hmm. How?
They're just playing shit teams.
Because usually it's strength of schedule is usually when, if you win the division, you win the Super Bowl, you have one of the toughest.
Yep.
Wow. Maybe it's just that bad. I mean, the rest of that division does look like garbage
Yeah,
right
they've
now.
got the Cowboys, the Falcons, Rams, Patriots, Dolphins, Eagles, Bears, Saints, the football team of Washington.
Oh.
Giants, Colts, Falcons again, Bills, Saints, Panthers, Jets, and then the Panthers again.
Interesting.
Where do they rank? When they do the strength of schedule rankings, right?
Yeah.
Where do they rank in that?
They're ranked number 1
Really?
as terms of weakest. And Falcons number 2.
Really?
Bills number 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it must be because the NFC South and the AFC East, they're just considering bad teams because they had bad records. So they go off the records from last year, I believe. That's how that works. So that will change.
Yeah.
So that's based off. Well, I mean, because the NFC South is pretty putrid right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Saints, Falcons, and Panthers are pretty bad teams. But the AFC East isn't really that. I mean, the AFC East is going to be better than it was. The Bills and Dolphins are good teams, and I think the Patriots are going to be a good team, even with the rookie. So Jets is the only shitburger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like the Panthers could end up being good. I mean, we don't know that Sam Darnold's not going to show up. And they've got McCaffrey back there. They've got some wide receiver weapons. They've been drafting some better. They've been trading for better defensive backs.
Now
They might be a tougher team than anybody gives them credit for.
The argument for
And the Saints might be tougher too. We just don't know.
it's a possibility.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, missing Michael Thomas for the first six games, I believe, or 5 games. So Winston threw 30 interceptions the last time he played a regular season. That's not even a joke. How do you throw 30 interceptions?
that was
That's
his last season with the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
So that was the weird stat I remember about that? Didn't he threw? He led in touchdowns and interceptions. Is that what it was?
I don't think he led, but he hit 30 and 30 in each one, and he had a ton of passing yards.
Yeah.
He had good receivers back then.
Right, because the same receivers that Tom Brady took to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Yeah. So he doesn't have anything to start right now. They got Marquez Callaway, I think he's a second-year receiver, and then Traquan Smith, who hasn't really done anything anytime.
New Orleans isn't they're not full on rebuilding, but they kind of are rebuilding because you just lost your franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think when you have a gunslinger like that, you can take things to the next level if it's there. And he did have LASIK surgery on his eyes.
Right. Yeah.
And he's always had his eyes really wide open. So it's kind of surprising to me that he couldn't see. He's got the biggest eyes. I feel
You're
like
right
you can
about
see
that.
me sitting in
That was the
couch.
joke. That was the joke everybody made. Is that the Bucks paid for him to have LASIK surgery so he could clearly see them sign Tom Brady.
Oh, man. Good Lord. Sean Payton's such a good coach. He'll be doing that thing where they bring in Taysom Hill, maybe only 3% of the time or something. But when it comes running time, they'll be bringing him in. Heck, he did it with Breeze when Breeze was still there.
Yeah.
So, a lot of NFL coaches, they consider that a little bit like, college
Unorthodox,
style or whatever. But the Niners were doing it in preseason with Garoppolo and Trey Lance.
Yeah.
So, and they'll
Lance ran
probably
for
carry that into the regular season. There's certain things. Those guys are built to run. Taysom Hill and Lance. Those guys. Lance looks like like Cam Newton. Like he can run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, they're going to use him. They're going to use him as a weapon.
Well, let's get into these headlines, Derek.
Yeah, let's do it.
Here's Brando with This Week in the Headlines.
All right, sports fans. You're listening to episode 36 of Ball Busters. And we are talking about... We got some fun sports on the table for you. We've already talked a little bit about strength of schedule. The Tampa Bay Bucks, Big T. Lalaude's favorite team. Big T. Lalaude, by the way, has passed out and he's napping on the table.
Here I am.
He's sort of still here, but he's sort of not. In his mind, he's in Nebraska. But, we've got a lot of news tonight. Trey Lance has somehow managed to get injured before Jimmy Garoppolo.
That is amazing.
Way to go, Trey.
Yeah.
That's a foot race I didn't know we were watching for.
I think
Yeah.
he has a potato chip in his finger.
He's got a chip stuck in his finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you really if you're an aggressive guy and you're diving into a chip bag, that can happen to anybody.
I've been on the DL for that myself.
Yeah. I'm surprised it didn't happen to Garoppolo, to be honest with you, but they must have been hanging out together.
If you don't mind, could I? On your tablet there, can you type a name in Google?
Oh, I don't think I'm equipped. Oh no.
Amen, Google.
No, I was going to tell. Remember the Rodney Dobnak from the Twins? Remember the picture I sent you? This picture for the Twins.
Oh, yeah.
When you were talking about the chip in the finger.
Oh,
yeah, this guy, he'd been on the DL with a strained middle finger.
Oh, no.
When I show you his picture, you'll go, "Yep, that's a guy who would strain his middle finger."
Oh, my
He
God.
just looks like a guy that would flick you off
Yeah.
any chance he could
I
get.
just remember when you said the chip in the finger. That's what it reminded me of.
New England's head coach Bill Bellyflop released Cam Newton. And what?
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my boy.
was pretty-
Cam and
I
his
thought that
hats. So great post-game press conferences. I just love him just for that.
I thought it was pretty foul, but I don't know what was going on behind the scenes. But what's that's going to mean for the Patriots and their start against the Miami Dolphins?
Oh, buddy.
We got Mac Jones will be starting, and a little off our normal subject, but a para-Olympian women take silver in goalball. Have you guys ever heard of goalball?
No, what is that?
What the heck?
It's a sport in the Paralympics. We'll get into that in just a minute. Ronaldo Rondo. I don't know if I said his name right because I'm not a soccer fan.
Ronaldo, the soccer guy?
Yeah.
That's Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rips his shirt off, but he will. But he will not play in Azerbaijan. I just wrote that headline because I could actually pronounce Azerbaijan.
Is it like the new Hulk Hogan? What's going on over here?
Yeah, so he broke the scoring title for men's soccer, and
International scoring title.
international scoring title. So he, of course, at the end of the game, ripped his shirt off and received a yellow card, and now he's not going to play.
Oh.
Yeah, that's-
you can't rip your shirt
You
off.
can't take, you can't take your kit has to stay on while you're on the field. So if you take your kit off when you're on the field, kit, soccer terms for jersey, if you take it off while you're on the field, it's a yellow card. And if you have enough yellow cards amassed in the season, then it results in a red card, which means you have to miss a game.
Damn.
So how many times did this guy rip his shirt off during the season?
Well, no, he had yellow cards for other things.
Oh,
that was just like the
okay,
one that
okay.
put it over the limit.
All right.
Probably
okay.
whipping his something else out. I mean, he likes to show off.
I don't know. But do you remember the text that
Todd
Liz
likes
sent
it
to
too.
us?
Todd, are you awake over there?
Here I am.
So the numbers that Liz sent to us, which is funny about it, is that Ronaldo, so he set the international record for most goals scored in international games. And if you add women into it, he's like 7th.
Yeah. I saw that too. I was like, wow. Women kind of outdo men in every aspect of soccer.
They just play
Liz?
a way more they just play a way more fundamental form of soccer than the men do.
Yeah.
Because the men are out there trying to like balls up on everybody, and the women are just like, no, I'll take 3 extra passes to get a good shot at goal, and they do that. They're just way more patient.
Yeah. I feel like that's the way to go with soccer too.
Oh yeah.
We'll get into a little bit of that in a minute, but the Bucks have the weakest schedule. But we're not going to talk
Well,
about
now
that.
hold on a second. How did we won the Super Bowl, Brando? How is it we have the weakest schedule?
Todd, go back to sleep. Bruce Arians and Andy Reid were found out to be the same person.
Really?
Yeah. Hidden within the same
Like
body.
Batman?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Local man was injured when Canadian women defeated U.S. women at hockey.
Okay.
An area man that lives nearby, somebody we might even know, was injured watching the game. Apparently,
What?
yeah. When the Canadian women defeated the U.S. women and won the gold in hockey. Rules are rules, all right. But I'm still ready for football.
Yeah.
Let's get into this, guys. So
All right.
let's talk about goalball. Goalball was invented after World War II, and it was invented so that veterans of the war could have a sport to play.
And it just took 75 years to go mainstream?
Yeah. and then the U.S. women went and got the silver this year against Brazil in a late. Now, if you guys have never seen this sport, it's really quite odd. Okay, it's not as odd as Todd,
As
but
Big T, yeah.
it looks like a basketball court.
Okay.
Not as large. It's quite a bit smaller.
All right.
And it's played with a ball about the size of a basketball. It's
Okay.
blue. It's kind of like, if you ever seen those balls for pets that have bells inside that ding around?
Yeah, like a dog toy.
And the holes in them, the two
Right.
holes. It's identical to that, but larger.
Okay.
They've got a large goal on one end of the court and a large goal on the other end of the court, kind of like soccer.
Okay.
And there's 3 women or men, depending on the, but the women, our U.S. women just went and got the silver. And so they face off by kind of like bowling. They roll the ball. Now, all the competitors are blind.
What?
This
That's
is Paralympics.
Are you serious?
Yes.
This story just keeps getting more layers.
Or
Yeah.
they wear, if they're not blind naturally, which is probably the only Paralympic sport where a non-injured person or non
Right.
whatever,
Afflicted. None of
It sounds like a bad South Park episode, or maybe a good one.
gets to play, but you can wear a mask, and the ball has bells inside of it. This was invented by 2 Germans post World War II. So
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad my blue balls don't have bells. I'd be walking around and I don't even did.
So they roll the ball, and so the 3 people on the other side, they can't see. But they have to try to hear the ball bouncing across the court.
I want to play this.
I know. And they dive to block it, and it's kind of cool to watch because they
That's
have to.
awesome.
When they walk out on the court, they can't see. Because they got
come
these serious
on.
masks on. They wear
that's
pads
great.
for diving after the ball. But the ball, like I said, is like the size of a basketball or bigger than it's large ball. So they
So
throw
they're just
it.
feeling their way around to get to the
Feeling their way
gold. Do they
around.
got canes with red tips and stuff? I mean, what's going on here?
No, and they can't cross the line, so they have to shoot from about half court or less than half court, and they got to roll the ball, and they try and roll it past the 3 defenders who are there blindly
This is ridiculous.
diving after the ball.
Come on, and the crowd laughs at them. What is
don't know.
this?
Oh man.
You would
Come
think so.
on,
It's
this
fun.
is not cool.
Okay, so listen, I've watched quite a bit of Paralympics, and especially the Special Olympics and all those stuff. And most of the time, they're competing in the same games that everyone else is, that just with some sort of a handicap or something like that. This literally sounds like 2 Germans post World War II. They were like,
Yeah.
let's come up with a way to fuck with people who are blind. And there's like,
Oh, my
it's like we roll a cat toy at them and see how they act, and then that's what it sounds like.
It sounded that way, and so it was to keep the vets that had been blinded in the war active and able to participate in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And now it's a Paralympic sport, but human beings are odd. We're odd creatures.
Cool
I mean, that's
people,
I actually started watching some of it because I was at a bar, I was hanging out, selling some beer, and I saw it on the TV, and I was like, I have never seen this before. What is this? But the U.S. women won a silver, and it was quite a finish. It went into overtime, and it's kind of like soccer, where they get to just shoot. One person gets just to shoot against one other person, but it's just one other person.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, they were doing some theatrics with no vision. I mean, Daredevil would crush it, but I mean, these aren't superhumans; they're just regular athletes. But
Man.
they, we're going on to, and I didn't even get to see. There's not a lot of information out there about goalball, so I couldn't even find out.
It sounds to me like if you Googled goalball, you would get a lot of things other than this game.
Yeah, you got to really search for the actual game. And I couldn't even figure out who were playing for the gold. Like, that's how little information. But
Really?
the Paralympics in Tokyo are going on right now,
Oh man.
following a regular Olympics.
So there's still another match,
yeah, there's one more match.
and we're not sure what it is.
gold. I don't know who we're playing.
So the match, what you're saying is the match they won guarantees them silver.
Yeah.
So they can't do less than silver.
Right.
But it puts
Yeah.
them into a match where if they win one more, they'll win gold.
That's what I've read.
This
Okay.
is awesome.
Assuming I'm reading that correctly. And the U.S. women were defeated. U.S. In hockey recently, the Canadian women took gold. Marie-Philippe Poulin scored in overtime, and Canada beat the 5-time defending champion United States women 3-2. Quite a fight broke out prior to the end of that game. These women were very competitive. The Canadian captain, Poulin, had an amazing game and a sudden death 3-on-3 overtime. The buzzer sounded, and Canada beat us for the first time, like I said, in 5 years. A lot of times we face off with Canada. Big fight right at the end. And an area man,
Local Orlando?
a local guy, local redneck hillbilly, was how the article read, sustained a wrist injury.
Oh,
Yeah, while watching
This is
this
this
game.
guy's worst nightmare. Now he's walking around with a limp wrist. Oh, man. Poor
And I'm
redneck.
looking over and I'm going, Todd's got a cast on.
While watching the game?
While watching the game. Yeah, apparently the local lunatic,
Todd does have a
redhead,
cast on.
yeah, reported a severe wrist injury. He's saying maybe it was his thumb after vigorously working his way up and down. This is what he quoted. Watching the Canadian women fight. Why a fight? I don't know, but working his way up and down his 2-inch shaft. Apparently, he claims to have been cleaning his gun during the hockey event.
Oh, that's what they're calling it nowadays. Cleaning their gun. Todd, do you have
all right?
anything to say for yourself?
I wasn't there. Here I am.
All right, Todd.
Sounds like he's on.
Yeah.
Muscle relaxers
I
or something. And we don't know if he blew his finger off, but there's a lot of meat to this story.
Sounds like it.
I'm just trying to figure out what went on. It was.
Or you said 2-inch shaft, so maybe there's not a lot of meat to this story.
Oh, no.
I'm not sure, but like I said before, Portugal superstar Cristiano Ronaldo established himself as the top scorer in the history of men's international football in a 2-1 victory over Ireland recently. He scored his 111th international goal, and then converted another header in the 96th minute to take it. And he's just excited to be able to contribute to his team. But because he ripped his shirt off, as we said before, he will not be playing in Azerbaijan.
You know, me and the wife, actually, we converted a header last weekend. Just letting you know. That is one I'm sort of proud of her.
I was wondering why that's why you were out of town.
Well,
We weren't sure what was going on there. So, yeah, guys, we got some other fun stuff going on in sports today. We've got...
I just found the stats if you wanted to hear that. So,
Yeah.
top 10 international scorers. Cristiano Ronaldo scored his 111th international goal this week for Portugal. He's played for them since 2003. He is currently 9th on the all-time list of international scorers in soccer. The top 7 above him, because there's a tie, is Christine Sinclair of Canada with 187.
That's right, yeah.
Abby Wambach from U.S.
187.
at 184. Mia Hamm of the U.S. at 158.
Wow.
Christine Lilly of the U.S. at 130. Birgit Prinz of Germany at 128. Tied with Carly Lloyd from the U.S. at 128. Julie Fleeting of Scotland at 116. And then Orlando Pride's own Marta at 112. Right
Wow.
above him.
So
So
she's
there
one
are
up on
7
Ronaldo.
women above Ronaldo with more international goals than him.
Wow. They don't rip their shirts off at the end of the game, unfortunately.
I mean, Abby Wambach did that one time.
Really?
Yeah, no, that was Brandy Chastain.
In a bra, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, she had her sports bra. on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you can wear those at the grocery store nowadays.
so I wonder
Oh, yeah.
if that guy. So who ripped the show? What's that guy's name?
Cristiano Ronaldo.
If now, would they have given him the yellow card if he had his training bra on?
Yes. Guess if your
Oh,
jersey
you still
comes
get
on,
it?
yeah.
So she got the yellow card too. Oh.
Yes, you did.
Oh, I don't believe that. Come on, she should
feel
have
like-
won an award for
I
that.
feel like it's a European sport.
Hers was she
Europeans-
did it in the World Cup though.
Europeans aren't as hung up on stuff like that as we are. Why don't they?
No, but
It's
it's
probably has more to do
It
with-
has to do with the rules of keeping your jersey on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you remember this, but
It's your uniform.
This is going back a few years ago, but when Orlando City first went MLS, there was a game where the only player that we retained from when we were USL, like minor league soccer, to MLS was Kevin Molina, and he was on the team, and he suffered a major injury that put him out for the rest of the season, lower leg injury. So when we had a chance to win the game in a penalty kick situation, Kaká actually went to the sideline, took his jersey off, put Kevin Molina's jersey on, and went out to the field and scored the goal-scoring point.
Wow.
We won the game, but Kaká got a yellow card for doing that.
Wow. And for changing, that's crazy.
Yeah, because he put on a different jersey. He was playing. He scored the goal as Kevin Molina and not as himself because he changed his number.
That's crazy.
So either way, it counted, but he got penalized for it.
So no matter what, whether you're celebrating or just changing shirts, you can't take your shirt off.
Soccer is an old sport, man. They got rules that were written like 100 plus years ago. You know.
True. So we're talking about Mac Jones trying to start against the Dolphins.
Uh-oh.
I mean, he's going up against a defense. I think we're going to chew Mac Jones to pieces, and I'm very excited about this.
You think so? I mean, are you happy about that? Would you rather have him than Cam Newton coming
Fuck
at
yeah.
you? Really?
Yeah, dude, you got a rookie with an experienced defense. We're going to fucking chew them apart, man. That's not good for the Patriots. I mean, he looks good, though.
Okay.
Mac Jones does look good. He's throwing the ball well. He's got poise and composure. But as soon as some of our crazy-ass defensive linemen start rushing him, as soon as Ogba gets to him, Jalen Phillips gets to him.
Now, I'm just going to say.
You got Xavier Howard back there. You got
some of these players that obviously played college ball, but the NFL game plan for him will be a little bit different. Some of these players that get in here, if you don't get a book on them, I don't know if the Dolphins quite know what to expect. And versus if it's
we've
Cam,
got
you
college.
know what's going to happen with Cam.
He's got his whole college career. He looks the same.
Yeah, but his college career is going to be different.
Yeah, it's going to be a different
Because
game
now
plan.
he's that player, but he's under Belichick. So Belichick is looking at his college career also and going, "This is what I want to do with him." I think he's going to be a different player. You know?
Yeah, but how versatile can a person be? A person can't be that versatile.
If his arm's good, I mean, he's
His arm's
obviously
good.
not going to run, but if his arm's
But the
good,
kind of pressure that that Baker's going to be putting on him, that Van Ginkel's going to be putting on him, that
Where's this
Jalen
game at?
Phillips going to be putting on him. It's in New England. I just don't think he's had that kind
man.
of pressure before. I don't think he's faced cornerbacks like we have before.
oh, that's true.
We got ball hawks.
That is true.
I
and he
mean-
doesn't have the type of weapons he had. I mean, in
we're gonna pick
Bama,
up, I think it's going to be
top
ugly
receivers.
for the Patriots. Put your
think
money
it's
on the
gonna be
Dolphins.
ugly,
Yes.
really?
I think we're going to pick him off a bunch of times. I think we're going to sack him. And he's a big guy, but I mean, he's not as big as our defensive backs are.
Well, I think ultimately you want to go against the first year quarterback regardless.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
for sure. Yeah.
You got a first year quarterback. That's the guy. I'd rather have him than somebody who's been in the league for years that kind of knows how this works. Because,
No,
like
for
you said,
sure.
you can rattle the shit out of him.
Rather shit out of him. Whereas I think Cam can adapt, adjust, figure us out, make changes more readily. I don't think this guy's going to be able to do that. I think if we get him against the wall, he's going to be shit out of luck.
Oh, it's going to be coach versus coach in this.
It's going to be coach versus coach.
I mean, that's what's going to go on. Because you got to remember, too, the head coach from the Dolphins, he was the defensive coordinator for the Patriots.
right.
Right.
So all these guys know each other
Yeah.
so well.
Yeah, they know each other's game plan and
and
everything.
we've got a former safety from the Patriots kind of running our team in the back.
How'd they do
So,
last year in their matchups or two matchups? Did the Finns
we
come
went
away with
1
both
and
of them, or
1.
did they split it?
We
Okay.
went 1-1. The Patriots stomped us the first game
Did they really?
in New England. Yeah.
That's when Cam was running,
That's when Cam
running
was,
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was all over the place. And the thing about Cam is quite a bit more unpredictable. And he can still throw the ball. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if that had to do with his confusion that he had about the vaccination laws.
Yeah.
And I think when you're getting close to season, current rules, which we're going to talk a little bit about, and I didn't have a chance to even understand that, but there's a bunch of new rules with tackling, hitting. Have you guys seen this? It
Oh,
just
no.
Came out. And you got COVID rules going on.
Yeah.
And Cam, being a guy that's been in the league for a long time, being a veteran, maybe just kind of rolling in with a little bit more of a, hey, I got this, chill out type of attitude, perhaps. I'm not sure what went on. But in Belichick being a very intense guy, very specific rules, maybe just felt uncomfortable that maybe Cam was going to dip off onto adventures with family like he had done. And so I didn't understand the rules of COVID. God damn it, man. If you don't understand the rules of COVID now, you're out 14 days. That's 2
Right.
weeks.
2
we don't
weeks.
have
Yeah,
either.
2 games we don't
We
have.
can't risk that. He's not. I don't think Belichick is as adaptable. He's used to the regimented Tom Brady who plays the pocket, does the thing, goes to class, gets up early. And Cam is more like, hey, I got this, man.
leaves
Chill
leaves
out.
practice and goes home and goes to bed.
These practice
Yeah,
go to
that's-
bed. Whereas
that's
Cam
Tom Brady
wants to have a
then,
life. That's what it seems like. I mean, I don't know the backstory, but maybe he feels like Mac is more predictable and is willing to take the losses. But I think he's going to take some losses. I think they're going to have a rough year.
And also, he's a young dude that you can mold to your style, your franchise
better
style
off
play.
to mold your young guy. Yeah,
Take a young guy, and you can just tell him it's his first time in the NFL.
Yep.
You're the coach. So
Yep.
Bill Belichick can go to Mac Jones and go, hey, bud, this is how it works in the NFL.
This is how we're doing
This
this.
is what I expect
Yeah.
of you. And if you don't do that, then find another place to
Find
play.
another place to play.
And as a young dude coming out of college, coming in NFL for the first time, he is going to do what you fucking tell him to do.
that's right. And that's
Yep.
what it seemed like from the beginning with Mac.
Train him when he's young, and you got because he did that to Tom Brady.
He did
Tom
it
Brady.
to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yep.
feel like he thinks he's got that again, and maybe he does.
And what I find interesting is, all these quarterbacks, five of these highly touted rookie quarterbacks are drafted. There's different ways. Some of these guys you hand off the franchise to, like right out of the gates, they gave Zach Wilson, the Jets gave.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't even have, I think it's him and like first-year guys behind him. They don't even have a veteran over there in New York
They
Jets.
look scary in not a good way.
The Chicago, everybody's getting on the media on Chicago because they got Dalton over there leading the charge, and everyone's pushing for Justin Fields to come in there, which is like complete opposite of the New England because because they both have tough week 1 matchups. So Chicago has to go up against the Rams. Rams have like the top defense in the league. So almost a train of thought there is, hey, maybe we throw Dalton there instead of throwing the rookie straight into the fire against the Rams.
Right.
Confidence dipping. The Patriots are not concerned about confidence dipping over here because Miami, obviously a top 5 defense or something,
Yeah.
and they're putting the rookie right in the fire. I mean,
know.
so it's two opposite ways to run your franchise.
Totally.
So
That's
it's
like
gonna be interesting to see what
Jim
happens.
Moore's idea. Is like in boxing. It's like when you come into boxing, it's like you're joining the amateur team or whatever. That's the first thing you're doing. Whoever's the toughest guy in your weight class, get in the ring, spar that guy.
So not worried about the losing confidence.
No,
because
it's
that's
just-
the argument.
No, because the whole thing is if you spar that dude and at the end you have no confidence, there's the door. This isn't for you. This isn't for you.
And I don't see Justin Fields as the type of guy when we're talking about Justin Fields that's going to lose confidence. He seems
That's
to
very
me like
true.
he seems to me, but I agree with the decision to start Dalton, and I think that should always be the case. And honestly, if Trey Lance is sitting on the sideline with a chipped finger after reaching into the chip bowl too fast or whatever happened to
Damn
him.
you,
He took a
Lays.
hit from the Raiders linebacker. I can't remember his name, but
Those ruffles have ridges. Had no idea.
But I think it's potentially the best thing for him because I think every point in your life you want to be the best. Look at Aaron Rodgers now. I mean, as much as he cries and whines, look how good he is.
Yep. Sat
and
for
how
4
long
years.
did he sit? Yeah. And so you got it, and just building knowledge, building anticipation, watching the play. How many times have we seen rookies come out? I mean, Tua's maybe not the best example, coming off a heavy injury, split the season with Fitzpatrick, so didn't really have to perform, didn't really have to step up, and when he did, wasn't all there. But I think you're gonna be shy after an injury. Look at Justin Fields. I think we're seeing a little bit of a Russell Wilson type of character with him. I think we're seeing a guy that, and I compare him to that because I think he's got some of the same tenacity, some of the same durability, some of the same running skills, and to me, he kind of throws like in the same capacity. He's got great accuracy, which was something, but still, put Dalton in. Let Dalton take those early hits. Let Dalton feel the team out. Let Dalton get you halfway through the season, and then, at least put your guy in.
I don't even know if he's going to make it halfway through the game.
Yeah.
This is Sunday Night Football, buddy.
Yeah,
I
that's-
can see at halftime they're down by 17. Dalton's looking
Biggest
rattled. Here comes Fields to come in and save the game and take over the rest of the season.
Well,
Let's look at the Bears starting.
the question I have is: have we ever had in the NFL like a rookie quarterback that has come in and really made like a huge? Because I don't want to go as far as saying win a Super Bowl, but have we ever had like a rookie quarterback that's come in and like completely changed the like trajectory of their franchise? Because typically, don't rookies come in and like
Not really. I mean, I'm drawing
if
a
you
blank.
got something good, like if the guy plays well and then the franchise decides to build around him, but. I mean, you've never really had a rookie quarterback come in and completely turn their team around.
Like everybody always expects.
They expect that, but it never happens.
Everybody
That's not what
thinks-
happens.
Put the
I
rookie
guess
in.
once in a while. I mean, I know the year Russell came in and he was a third-round pick, so not as much was expected. And that year, Seattle actually paid a ton of money on, oh, man, I can't even remember the name. But the guy played quarterback for the Packers, went off, like only played like 1 or 2 games at the end of the season because they were sitting I think they were sitting Rodgers. And they paid a shit ton of money for this guy. He came in, they drafted Russell. Russell won it through the preseason, went in and actually threw for 26 touchdowns and 10 interceptions his first year and went to the playoffs and lost to the Falcons in the first round of the playoffs.
Wow.
So once in a while, but that is a
Yeah.
rare. Usually those rookies come in and they're on
It's
such
just-
bad teams.
and
you
that
know.
and the speed is so different.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So the Bears are facing the Rams in their first game
Yeah.
in L.A. Then they're facing
Prime time Sunday
the
night.
Bengals. Then they got
See,
the
Bengals.
yeah.
Bad
Then,
defense.
then they got the 28th and then they got the Raiders.
Another bad defense.
Then they got the Lions.
Another horrible defense. See, I mean, if you put Fields in
No, I'm sorry.
week 2,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, they're playing the Browns third.
Browns got a pretty okay defense now. Yeah,
They got it. Yeah,
maybe
I
even
would
good.
say
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And 2 great running backs. And I mean, so you're looking at the Bears' strength of schedule is listed at 32.
Really?
So they're giving them the hardest schedule. I don't know if that's based off what their level of performance and their, ability to defend. But then they got Cleveland. Then they got the Lions. Then they got Las Vegas. Then they got the Packers. Then they got the Bucks, Niners, Steelers,
Ooh, see, now that's a gauntlet right
Ravens.
there. Ooh, 5 in a row.
Lions again, Cardinals, Packers, Vikings, Seahawks, Giants, and then the Vikings again. So they actually do have a pretty tough schedule.
Okay, yeah. And 5 really tough defenses right there in that mid-October, early November stretch.
None of
That'll be
those
tough.
teams are slouches. I mean, we don't know what the Lions are going to do with Stafford now. You could see a
with
different
Goff.
team.
With
People
Goff.
are talking shit.
Goff.
Oh, that's right.
Lions
Goff.
with Goff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Goff.
Rams have Stafford now, right?
Yeah.
The Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're opening up against a Rams team with Stafford now. And that defense.
Yeah.
That we don't know what that's. It could be tough.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
People are saying he's looking good. People are saying he's looking tough and playing hard. I haven't watched any. I haven't seen him play yet.
You know,
Stafford.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was a little bit dinged up in preseason too, so they were sort of resting him. I don't think they played him too much. I mean, their big thing is going to have to. They had Akers was obviously he blew up at the end of last year. Their running back, and since he tore his knee in the preseason, that's a
tough.
big downfall. So he's going to have
Yeah.
to throw the ball all around the field. But he's got Woods, he's got Kupp, he's got a tight end over there with Higbee, and McVay, their coach, was looked at being an offensive genius about 2-3 years ago, and then Goff started having trouble. Goff has like no mobility. So Stafford still, I mean, that was a number 1 pick overall, 12 years ago or whatnot. He has a big arm. He has functional mobility. There's a possibility Stafford could go off. Like seriously could go off.
he
Could
he
go
was
Goff.
known as a guy who had
Goff.
talent when he was in Detroit, but he was talent in Detroit with a bad franchise.
Bad,
Right.
bad.
So now
yeah.
put him in a franchise that did go to
With
the playoffs
McVay.
last year.
Yeah.
The Rams did go to the playoffs and look good
Yeah.
with Goff, and so maybe you take this guy and just move him on out to the coast, and maybe who knows?
Yeah. There's a lot of talk.
I don't know.
Steelers have the second weakest.
Unbelievable.
I mean, strongest. Sorry, strongest.
Second strongest.
schedule with starting off against the Bills. Let's look at the Steelers season just for Liz's
fun.
sake.
Yeah, okay.
What do we think? What do we think? Opening day against the Bills. W or L
Who? Where's it at?
at Buffalo.
Yeah, Josh Allen's on fire. That's yeah. They're one dimensional. That's the only thing that's wrong with the Bills. And even in their preseason, they said their first 16 plays in their last game with the starters was all passes. They didn't care to run the with running backs. I mean, Josh Allen will run, but they didn't care about running it. You would have thought in the offseason, it'd be like, okay, we're going to work on this, guys. We're going to get a running back. They do not care about balance.
It is one of
You know what I mean? They are just going to let Allen just chuck it, and I'm almost like Kansas City. If you have that kind of capability, that kind of powerhouse, why take the ball out of the hands of such a stud?
Yeah. If it's working, do it.
Yeah.
You know?
So Steelers got a good D, but
Steelers do have a good D.
And that running back.
Weren't the Bills like they were one win away from the Super Bowl last year, right?
AFC Championship, buddy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why change? Yeah, why break something that's not?
And that was a
broken.
narrow
They're
loss
not.
to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
Narrow there, and then they go to Las Vegas.
They should handle that. Yeah.
Yeah, then they play the Bengals.
Oh yeah.
Things get a little tougher as they go into Green Bay.
Okay. All right. That will be tough.
So where we got them now? We got them 2-2.
2-2. Yeah.
2-2. Broncos.
Nah. Teddy B ain't gonna be able to do anything on that D.
Teddy. Yeah. But the Broncos don't have a slouch defense either.
No, they're pretty decent. Yeah.
Then they gotta go. They gotta play the Seahawks. Seahawks are coming to Pittsburgh to play them.
Okay. All right. That'll be down to the wire.
I'm saying they're 3-3 at this.
They're
point.
not going to start out 11-0 like last season.
I'm saying they're probably 3-3 at this point.
I mean, the thing is, them
And then they're
getting
at
Najee
Cleveland.
Harris,
Yeah.
that is a big.
Right.
And they can
Yeah.
take all the pressure off. If Ben's arm truly is getting washed and he's getting older, I mean, he's got 3 really good receivers, but if you got a running back that looks like, Derrick Henry-esque that can also catch the ball, I mean, they're probably just going to feed that rookie so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just ask Ben to throw, hey, it's 3rd and 5, get us the first instead of throw the ball 50 friggin' times.
Right,
You know,
right.
it's,
That's true, and he can carry a team like that, and it does throw everybody off. And they're not everybody's used to seeing. We gotta protect this guy. He's a breakaway type of running back, and we gotta defend for this. We can't. And then freeze Ben to light the field up if he's still got it. If there's any flair left in him,
he still has enough. Yeah.
He faces a pretty tough defense in Cleveland.
Last time I saw him, he was crying. When he lost to the Browns, literally, that was the last time I saw Ben. But we'll see what happens.
I know he was crying.
Oh yeah, I got a
Literally
DVR. Yeah, I'll be watching that again this week.
You saved that. You saved it.
We should make
Oh yeah, for
t-shirts.
sure. I'll never erase that from the DVR. I'll cry when that gets erased from my DVR.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We should make a T-shirt with Ben crying on it.
Ben's tears.
man.
Oh yeah, almost like that LeBron. Didn't they have a picture of LeBron when he was whiny face or whatever? Yeah, we got to get one with those wet tears of just Ben sitting there on the bench.
Oh man.
that was gorgeous.
That is a trip. Well, all right, sports fans. That's all about all the headlines I got. I'm going to get with you guys next week. We're going to talk more about these rule changes. It involves fewer low blocks, expanded review, and balanced holding calls. Like I said, I dug into it, and I'm not 100% sure I understand, but we are going to see some rule changes. It's going to affect linebackers. It's going to affect almost all points of the game. They're going to be able to potentially review pass interference, I believe, as well as unnecessary roughness on the quarterback.
Really? I like this. This is big.
Yeah.
That would be
cool.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because there's been some games in the past couple of years where the bad calls like that could have changed the entire trajectory of the
That's
game.
horrible when
So
that
being
happens.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The guy hit his, there's been plays with a defensive back, hit his arm after he was done throwing, grazed his arm. Ow!
Right.
Yeah.
Unnecessary roughness.
Yeah,
It's like, what?
come on.
You know, the thing about that is, just to tie it into, my sport is what I watch is baseball. I'm a bigger baseball fan than anything else. But so they limit on what you can challenge as a manager, right? So you can challenge this and that. You can't challenge everything. But one of the things you cannot challenge in baseball is balls and strikes. You can't argue balls and strikes,
Interesting.
right? But we've seen games where it comes down to the wire and you get a terrible call that was a ball, they call that a strike. Boom, strike 3, game's over.
Yeah.
There should be situations
review.
where if it's a game deciding factor,
Totally.
it shouldn't matter what it is. You should
Like
be
a
able to go
touchdown
out there
play
and
is
call
always
it.
reviewed.
And call it. Yeah.
A final
You
strike should always be reviewed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that too. Todd, are you even here anymore?
Here I am.
All right, Todd, enough out of you. All right, let's take a little break, wet our whistles. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you why the AFC representative of the Super Bowl will be Liz's Schittsburg Steelers. You're listening to the Ball Busters.
Uh-oh.
You're listening to Ball Busters. You're listening to Ball Busters.
Oh, yeah, it's time. Ball Buster time. Football season is here. Just 5 days away. I've already done 5 fantasy football drafts. I have 2 more coming up this Monday and Wednesday. And did you decide to get in on this, Brando? Did you decide to do some fantasy football this year?
I'm gonna do one. Yes.
You're going to do one.
Yeah, I got a company fantasy football coming up. I just didn't want to put any money out. I'm a little concerned with the rules and this COVID stuff, man. I think it's going to be such a thing. I mean, everybody's in the same boat as far as that goes. But when you're talking about putting an investment out there, I mean, any investment you take obviously is going to be a risk, but I tend to want to put my money into things that I feel like I've investigated, and a player being out potentially for 2 weeks on a COVID protocol.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, granted, like I said before, everybody's in the same boat, so to speak, but I don't know, man. I feel like, and we don't know where this season's headed. So I just wanted to keep any gambling type operations in sports right now. I don't have a dollar out there.
Okay, so you're not doing it for money for your company?
No, just for fun.
You got, what do you got, 12 teams, 10 teams, 8 teams? What do you got?
I think we're at 8 right now.
8. All right. So you're going to get your feet wet a little bit then.
Yeah. This will be the first time I've done a fantasy league in, I don't even know how long, but it's been a while. I used to do several fantasy leagues throughout the year, and they were fun. I enjoy it. One thing I dislike about it is that I find myself ending up now at the TV or bar all day long instead of just for my one team, the Miami Dolphins, watching them.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to see how so-and-so does later today, and then I'm rooting for that team, or I'm just rooting for his, it kind of takes away from my fanship, but I'm looking forward to it. It definitely is a great way, if nobody's ever played fantasy football before, to learn more about the league.
That's what kept me away from fantasy baseball all those years.
Yeah.
Is that I like being able to tune in for my team's game, seeing how what's going on there.
Right.
And then after that, once I know my team won or lost, being able to check out.
Yeah.
And that with the fantasy, you can't do that. You got to be paying attention to everything that's going on.
Dive in full speed.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, it's exciting. It's fun.
It is. It's just engulfing.
But it's hard to now factor in COVID and rule changes and
Oh, yeah.
a lot of stuff going on. I mean, you almost could just go with all vaccinated players just because the protocol in the league is.
If you knew who they were, you do know who some were.
You do have some have been outspoken in saying they're not.
Yeah.
But there's no requirement for them to say that they are.
Exactly.
So, right. You don't know 100% sure. Now, there was a false statement out there for Urban Meyer saying that his recent cuts to Denver's roster, but then he came back and said, no, that didn't have anything to do with it. But then he said, in classic Urban Meyer fashion, well, actually, it kind of did.
Well, you know about Urban. Yeah, you know about Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer spells arrogance, spells condescending. He was a scumbag at Florida. He almost died with a heart attack because he's a piece of fucking shit. Nobody would have fucking shed a tear if he died right on the fucking field at Florida because he was a cocksucker.
That's a lot more mean than it is funny, isn't it? I mean, it's funny, but golly,
Yeah.
that is just mean.
I want to know who's the girlfriend that Urban Meyer stole from that guy. Right? Yeah. It's like there's definitely some like deep seated personal shit going on there. Like
a disgruntled Gators fan. That's all that is.
Intense.
Oh
Yeah,
my
most likely.
gosh,
Most likely.
unbelievable. All right, well, let's get into this reality football then. All right, we got a game here Thursday.
Yes.
And so there's only one way for Brando and I to chalk up a victory ahead of Liz and Todd because, hey, Liz and Todd aren't here.
They're not here.
Uh-oh. So here we go. Big matchup this Thursday. Ezekiel Jughead Elliott and the Dallas Cowgirls versus Tommy Girl Drunk Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
So who you taking in this one, Brando? What do you think?
Well, I think you get the Cowboys marching into Tampa's stadium, and you've got a potentially unsettled Prescott. How is Dak? How is he looking?
He's back, man. Hey, you know they're on the Hard Knocks this year. I've been watching any of the Hard Knocks.
No, I haven't.
Such a great series every year. The Hard Knocks. I mean, they just deliver. It's just great programming. I mean, I think it's such a great program. Even if you didn't like football or know anything about it, they put it together so well that they really get your heartstrings attached to certain football players, and not just all the high profile like Prescott and Zeke and all that, but they always pick like that third teamer practice squad, guy that might get cut and this and that. And it's just, they do such a great job, and they're doing a great job. I think I'm only up to episode 2 so far. I think only like 4 or 5 episodes, but no, this looks great. And yeah, according to everything, Dak is back. He is cleared. His arm is at 100%. They've rested it. They used a lot of baseball trainers and that type of logic where they didn't just go to the football side of it. They went the extra mile from all different angles. They wanted his arm rested, and he's going to be back firing. I mean, that Tampa Bay defense is so good. I don't know if Tampa can even keep up with the offensive scoring. I mean, if Dallas can keep up with the offensive scoring of Tampa.
That is my question there.
Yeah.
And that's the big question for me is to see a healthy Dak take I'm excited about this game. Let's just put that right out there right now. I think this is probably the barn burner game. If there's going to be a barn burner game, this is going to be the one, because you got the offensive powerhouse of the Cowboys. Don't really have themselves stacked up to defend against the weapons that Tom Brady has. He's got, come on. I know. If this gets into a shootout, I got to go with the Bucs because you've got a more well-rounded team there. Now, I'd love to see Ezekiel Elliott and take it out. I'd love to. I really want to believe that Dak is 100%, not just because Jerry Jones wrote the biggest check of his billionaire life, and for some reason I want to see this, whatever you want to call Jerry Jones, who eats microwave breakfast sandwiches with hot sauce on them.
You saw it, yeah.
I'm like, what is this guy doing? But
man.
aside from all that, you got the Super Bowl champs. They're in Tampa.
Yeah.
I don't see the Cowboys taking that. I just don't.
Yeah, the only advantage the Cowboys have, roster-wise, is the running game. Ezekiel is obviously a better running back than all 3 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneer running backs put together, but do they
that
even
is
need
true.
it?
I just don't see the and when I say but you get some bust potential in the running backs on the Bucs.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited about it. I'm so happy that the first game of the season is something that we can talk about, something that it's 5 days away.
Yes.
I mean, wow.
5 days.
That's fantastic.
Oh, it's going to be good.
Where are we watching this game?
Oh, my gosh. I don't know.
I know you're going to be at home probably.
What
Oh,
day of the
yeah,
week is
you
it?
know me. Yeah, I shut off the phone. It's Thursday.
Oh, wow.
Thursday,
Yeah.
8:20, 8:25.
I might try to call
whatever.
you before you shut your phone off and see if I can watch the game at your place.
Oh, well,
I'll
now
bring some beers.
you can, but see, I watch mine on delay. So
Oh, that's right.
So I will actually start watching it at about 9:15, 9:20, so I can skip through the commercials because I freaking hate commercials.
Yeah.
I can't stand it at all. So yeah, I will have to
It
turn
is-
off my phone so I don't get any updates, and I will steamroll through that thing take me 2 hours, and it'll be I usually catch up right there in the mid fourth quarter. I have to endure a few commercial breaks, but oh man, this is going to be good. I mean, it could get out of hand, but the thing is, even if it gets out of hand, it's going to be crazy because Dak doesn't care if he's down 3 touchdowns. They're just going to
No.
keep firing. He's
He'll
got
just keep
multiple
going.
receivers. His tight ends are good. They'll throw the ball to Zeke. But if Dallas really has a chance of winning it, it's going to be, I think, the opposite game script. Instead of them trying to catch back up, if Elliott really did come into training camp like they say he did, in shape this year as opposed to last year when he didn't, then, hey, if they just start off ball control and they're going neck and neck the whole time,
It's going to come down to that fourth quarter.
you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
that would be great. That
would
would
be
really be great.
fantastic.
And Dallas did put in a lot of draft picks on their defense. Micah Parsons does look like the real deal.
Yeah.
He's become a star on Hard Knocks. Linebacker.
Yeah.
He just has a great personality. He was playing chess in the second episode against Cowboys backup or third stringer quarterback DiNucci, and it was just great to see him go back. And they're, he's talking trash to Micah
Yeah.
Parsons, and they're having this chess match, and it was just great. So, yeah, I don't know if I can call the upset on this one. I think I'm just going to stay mainstream. There's so much energy. I'm not sure what the line on this is, or even if that
a good
matters.
question. Yeah.
But I would even think that Tampa wins handily and actually covers the spread, even if the spread's a touchdown or whatnot.
So I was just going to say, hearing you guys debate about it. So are the Cowboys? The Cowboys were a bad team. I want to say bad team, but they were an underperforming team last year because of injuries. Is that what it was?
Yeah, because Prescott went down, broke his leg.
Right,
think
I remember
week
the Prescott
5,
injury.
and their defense was one of the worst, if not the worst, defense last year.
So-
like historic numbers.
So them being healthy this year puts them into contention. I mean, because they were almost a playoff team last year,
Oh, for
even
sure.
with their problems, right?
Before Dak got hurt, he wouldn't have kept on pace. But if he would have kept on pace, he would have thrown for 7,000 freaking yards. I mean, he was on complete fire because CeeDee Lamb was coming unglued, and that's with Zeke being, like I said, a little bit out of shape last year. If Zeke is in shape, and they say he is, I don't know how you're going to stop that offense. And if Dallas can just, go from Alice to Dallas, because there was no D in Dallas last year. If they can just get the average status, their offense is top 5, top 3, maybe top.
Got a powerhouse.
And their division is a weak division. I mean, it's going to be a good freaking team.
That's I'm curious because
Yeah.
you know how it is. All the jokes about Dallas.
Yep.
You see jokes about it. So I was just curious, like, how good are they actually? So on paper right now, with the healthy squad, they're a team that you think playoff, or you thinking beyond playoff?
Well, they should win. Washington would be the other one to give them contention. Philly, they have a pretty bad defense, and there's still a lot of question marks around their offense. The Giants, they're just doomed with their quarterback situation. Dallas should get. And if I believe still, if you win your division, you get a home playoff game, even if your record's crappy. So if they get a home playoff game, I would have to say they would have a real good chance of winning a home playoff game, but I wouldn't think they would get much further than that, unless their defense really turns the corner. But if their defense goes from 32nd ranked to 20th ranked, I mean, that's a great improvement for them.
Sure, it's huge.
But they're not going to turn into like a top 5 team in their overall conference. So they probably would get knocked out, even possibly at home when a better wild card team actually comes in on them. But hey, I don't see how you're going to stop their offense from scoring. So Yeah. I mean, we've been waiting for years and years. It always looks like they're gearing up. But if Dak is back, and it does appear that he is, it's going to be fun. That's going to be a really fun team to watch play. Seriously.
I want nothing more than Dak just to be back.
I like Dak. He's a good guy.
Run.
Oh, yeah.
I counted him out earlier on, and I hope he proves me wrong. It seems like he's a little bit strained throwing, but again, these guys are resilient, and we've seen a lot of comebacks in sports that surprised all of us, including Tom Brady, who's had several surgeries.
When he went out with that injury, it was like Twitter blew up from all these athletes, like all over the world, like wishing him well. So, like, apparently this is a guy that, like, not just in the NFL, but in sports abroad, like, people love this guy. And they were all, like, sending their well wishes and, like, hope you get better soon, man, and all this stuff. So it seems like he's a guy that people in general in sports just like this guy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And also, at that time, remember, Jerry Jones was not budging on that contract. So people felt really bad for Dak because it happens a lot. If they don't get that big contract, now you have this injury, and it was a gross-looking injury. That was one you couldn't replay. That looks like, okay, now that guy just went from $100 million contract to he might get half of that or something, just because he didn't get signed. And, like, it seemed like Jerry Jones, like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you not re-signing him? And it's almost because of instances like that. But, hey, Jones, whenever it was in the offseason or in the early offseason, like February, March, he threw down the money and signed him to that crazy
big money.
Yeah. So he did get his payday. He got his dues. So that's great. Yeah, that's great. And yeah, he should have fun this year. A broken leg, it did look very, very gruesome, but that's way better than like a shredded knee or whatnot, or a neck injury like Peyton had. Like
Alex
he
Smith
recovered from the broken leg. He's not going to be afraid to run.
Right. It was a bone injury, not a soft tissue. Soft tissue injuries can be not just from healing from the injury, but psychologically, are really tough to come back from. Yeah.
And you look at some comebacks we've seen before. We got Alex Smith in the league right now. Wow. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Wait, where's he at now?
Well, I think he's back out now. I think he's actually did decide to finally retire, but he made it back after that near. I mean, his infections were leading to like endangering his life. It was so bad.
Yeah, Heather, my wife and I, Heather, we have a friend that played in the MLB as a pitcher, multiple shoulder injuries, infection after infection after infection that he had to retire, and he ended up getting a job with Major League Baseball, signed him to a contract where he scouts players in Asia to bring to America. But it's that injury that doesn't heal, that nagging injury, and then all the complications that come from it are typically what does put players out of the sport.
Yeah,
is that when that injury is just something that won't go away and it just keeps creating a problem after a problem after a problem. But I think Alex Smith, didn't he sign with ESPN or Fox?
I think one you're right with that.
He signed with either one of those two. Because I saw that come up a week or two ago. That he's signed on to be part of the broadcast team for one of those. And I can't remember which one, but he's going in. That's why when you said he's back, and I'm like, is he playing now?
Well,
because
I thought I saw that he was going to be there, but he's not. I mean, Fitzpatrick's going to carry the team. They got Heineke in the back there. Heineken.
Yeah,
I like to call him Heineken.
Yeah.
I don't know what that guy's going to be able to do, but I would think you'd want to have Alex Smith on your sideline there. Even I think even in that situation, you'd still just want to have him there. But I guess he's not playing it at all.
No. I think he finally decided to hang him up, and you get yourself one of those good
Smart
gigs.
move.
They saw Romo do it. Breeze is now doing it with the commentating, and I mean all those quarterbacks. They're such football junkies. They know everything. They can tell you everything about reading every play. They know what's going to happen before it happens. I mean,
so he signed on with ESPN.
Yeah.
He's going to be an analyst for ESPN. So that's good for him though. I mean,
So ESPN Monday night, you mean? Is that Monday Night Football?
It just says on air analysis with ESPN. See if it says what broadcast he's doing.
Interesting, because
But,
I
yeah.
actually don't know the Monday night lineup. So
Yeah.
that would be interesting if he actually made the Monday night lineup.
Said he will work on multiple ESPN shows and in various roles, including SportsCenter, Monday Night Countdown,
Okay.
on select weeks, and Sunday Night NFL Countdown from time to time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Yeah, he's such a good guy. He just turned out to he was pretty much a check down Charlie. He was a lot of short passes. When he came in, it was, he's just one of those types of players to where he couldn't really throw the deep ball anymore, and I was just cringing watching him there because they showed shots of his wife up in the stands.
Yeah.
I was like, this poor lady's gonna have a heart attack. It's like, they got so many millions of dollars.
family
He's
and
just
his-
and he's just doing it just to prove, like, I'm coming back.
Yeah,
And
he's
it's just like,
trying to-
dude, it's unnecessary.
He's trying,
Like-
he's trying to prove to himself and to other people. It's like, hey, look, I did it. I can
did
do
it.
it.
And he did.
I can still play.
That
Yeah.
injury was the grossest X-ray I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, his entire from his knee to his ankle was
Oh, yeah.
was broken in so many different pieces.
And you know what's crazy to think
I think
about
they
is
sewed pieces of his ass onto his shins. Like, we're going to cut about half your ass off. He's like,
So-
well, I don't really have much of a
maybe
butt
some of the
to
listeners
begin
aren't,
with. His wife's like, "Guy, can we take it easy there?"
Honey,
maybe some of the listeners aren't old enough to remember, but I know you guys. Do you remember the Joe Theismann injury?
I do. Yes.
Oh,
Remember that injury?
Yeah.
Here's the
That
crazy
was the
thing to
most
think
horrific
about.
of all time.
I watched somebody talk about this week. So that Joe Theismann injury, apparently, if he had had that injury in 2021 on the field, he would be playing next season.
Unbelievable.
They're like, because of the advances in sports medicine, they're
Yeah.
like, back then it looked terrible.
That was like 40 years ago.
Yeah, 40 years ago. And they're like, this year, if that had happened, they're like, yep, we can fix that now.
Yeah.
Didn't know how to do it then, but
Lots of
today we
advancements.
could have fixed that.
You just got to sew, just take a tiger, just cut a tiger tendon off and
Yeah.
sew it onto your leg.
Grab some cadaver parts and all that
Grab a
sort of shit
cadaver,
and put you back together.
Recently dead,
Oh,
young
yeah.
kid riding too fast on his motorcycle, grab his knee out of there, put it on your knee. Bada bing, bada boom, you're back in the game.
Oh, Lord. All right, Brando. So are you going to be brave enough to pick the Dallas Cowgirls, or are you going to stay with the fucking ears?
I just think going into Tampa with a team that is going to be oiled, I think you got Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady warmed up slow last season.
Tampon Bradley.
Tampon Bradley, yeah. Trampoline Barbacola.
Trampoline barbacoa.
You guys might
Write
be-
that down. Somebody
Oh,
write that down.
this is good.
Write that down.
Oh, we
Trampoline-
got to get a soundbite for that. Boing, boing,
Trampoline
boing.
barbacola.
Oh,
It needs to
my
be
gosh.
a professional wrestler name.
He's got many names. I don't know. I mean, they're giving we're talking about the spread because they're giving the Cowboys 7.5.
7. I'll still take the spread. I don't
Yeah.
think Dallas will be able to keep up. Yeah.
I got to go with the Bucks as much as he's not even under.
He
the
is
table
not
now.
even here.
Huh.
Unbelievable.
Todd, get yourself up off the tile floor. That's all right. He injured himself in that hockey game.
Nebraska
Clean up
born
his shaft.
loser.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Now I'm going. What else you got? Any other fun predictions?
You know what? Let's get into my favorite segment of the week. That's right. It's time. Hit the music.
It's time for Danny Feedbacks. Terminate, germinate, or sperminate.
All right, so we're going to go with my two favorite divisions. When it comes football Sunday, I'm locked in on 4 teams, actually. 3 of which have my favorite quarterbacks. I love my mobile quarterbacks. My favorite quarterback of all time, Russell Wilson. I love Lamar Jackson. I also love me some Kyler Murray from the Arizona Cardinals. And then I got to watch the Browns play every once in a while. But anyways, 4 of those teams reside in only 2 divisions, AFC North and NFC West, which are the highly contested divisions this year. They have the most competition. We only really have the Bengals that aren't keeping par in the AFC North, and really any team from the NFC West can win. So let's do a little terminate, germinate, sperminate. We'll start with the AFC North, so let's not worry about the bungholes. But terminate, you don't think the team is going to win the division. Germinate, this team is more of a wild card team is what you're thinking. And sperminate, obviously you think this team is going to explode and win the division. So we have Liz's Schittsburg Steelers. They won it last year. They started 11-0, but the season ended with Cleveland coming in to Pittsburgh and Ben Roethlisberger crying. Yes, this actually happened. A lot of the top guys in the industry actually think they're not going to win the division. They have them marked third because they have the Cleveland Browns ranked very high. They made improvements to their defense. They got their second year with the same offense for Baker. He doesn't have to learn a bunch. Odell Beckham is apparently healthy again and back on the scene. I mean that's a hard offense to stop. And then Baltimore Ravens, they're sort of limping into the season. They got a lot of injuries, especially with their receivers. And Dobbins, their top running back, was supposed to explode this year, and his knee actually exploded. So that's a little troublesome, but still, they'll find ways to score, and they also have a great defense. So, Brando, what do you think? Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, terminate, germinate, sperminate.
I don't see the Ravens doing a whole heck of a lot this year.
Really?
I do like Lamar Jackson. But I do feel like at the end of the season, they kind of figured him out. They cornered him, and they put him in situations where he wasn't comfortable. And what I've seen in the NFL is that when defenses figure that out, they now that doesn't mean he's not going to adapt. It doesn't mean he's not going to throw the ball more. I'd love to see him just start throwing the ball. And I think a lot of times when you see these running quarterbacks that are so successful throughout their life, getting out of trouble by running the ball, they think that they can just always do that.
Yep.
But NFL is different. You've got eyes on you. They figure out what you're capable of and how they can pressure you, and they can stop anybody. Even a guy as successful as Cam Newton was stopped by the great defensive mind when he lost to the Broncos.
Yep.
In a terrible performance by the Broncos overall, but yet the defense was there.
Yep.
So I feel like if Lamar Jackson comes to the table with some, I would love to see him start throwing the ball. I haven't seen that yet. Not that he does, but I want to see him throwing the ball more. The Steelers, I would have to germinate and just kind of take a look at them. You got Najee Harris. You got Ben Roethlisberger, who's a guy who's got a lot of experience. He's a gunslinger. He can throw the ball deep still. We don't know that Ben might have come back from that cry. So I'm going to sometimes a good cry is all you need.
Yeah. What do you think, Ben?
Oh, he's still crying.
Oh, no.
Well, don't make me change my mind. All right, you know what? I'm going to germinate the Ravens. I'm going to terminate the Steelers. And I got to sperminate.
Oh,
They got my boy Chubb. They got my boy Hunt.
Oh,
I mean, hey,
Browns.
I'm going to, yeah.
Oh.
Can I just weigh in on this? Because, so we had, who is the center for the Steelers that retired? There's Muncie?
Oh, Pouncey. Yeah.
Pouncey retired this year.
He's retired.
So, and this is just a layman, and what I've learned from you guys, and why I pinch. It looks like the Steelers are a team that are aging out.
It does.
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
They're a team that was they won a couple of Super Bowls. They had a big run, and they're aging out.
Yeah.
There's another generation of football that is coming
Yeah.
in that is going to push them to a point where they got to compete with guys like Lamar Jackson and guys like Baker Mayfield, who are younger dudes. And we saw that playoff game between the Steelers and the Browns.
Yeah.
We saw that, right?
Yep.
So
Several times, yes.
So how can you not terminate the Steelers? Because like they're coming back with it's like literally
the
the crypt
defense
keeper.
Gonna be solid again.
The crypt keeper is coming back for another season. Like that they are a team that is holding on to that little piece of whatever won them Super Bowls. And they're holding on to that, and they're thinking, "Oh, Ben's coming back. We got one more season with him. Let's try."
Right.
I think it's you terminate
it's
the
a
Steelers,
dead duck.
terminate the Steelers, you sperminate the Browns, and you germinate Baltimore.
As much as I would love that to happen, and I really would love that to happen, I'm going to tell you, I think the Browns take a step back. I'm going to terminate the Cleveland Browns.
Ooh.
I really just
Really?
think I
take for a
think
Browns fan.
they're going to be predictable. Baker's going to take a step back. That chemistry with Beckham has never quite worked out. I don't think their defense really got that greatly improved just because they made
They got some
a
stuff.
corner back in the first round. They got Clowney. Clowney's just going to be hurt and joking around like he always does. So I think they get terminated. It's just too much. Their strength of schedule is actually very tough too. I'm going to say Baltimore Ravens germinate because they're going to start the season a little bit slow with these injuries. They drafted a receiver in the first round, but he's hurt here till I believe
that
October.
Chase?
No. He was Chase got drafted actually to the Bengals, and he's had a slow
did the
start
Ravens
too.
get?
They got Bateman. I
Okay.
think he played for like Minnesota in college. He's a real good receiver. Got him in the end of the first round, and I'm going to sperminate the Steelers. So
But didn't the Steelers? They got a big running back in the draft, though, right?
yeah,
Najee Harris,
the
yeah.
best running back, Najee Harris. They got 3 young receivers. So although Ben is aging out, they got T.J. Watt on the defensive side. Their defense was, top. If not, they'll still be top 3, top 5. They lost a
Defense
little bit of
looks
players,
good again.
but
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to ask as much out of Ben this year. So it's not going to be one of those 11-0 starts. They're going to be battling. They got the tough strength of schedule. But I'm a little bit worried about what happens when he plays Cleveland next time. The Cleveland better be watching it. But I do believe the Steelers not only will sperminate and win that division, I believe they put on a run. They somehow find a stumbling Kansas City in the playoffs and make their way to the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yes, I do believe it.
Okay.
This
I
is
believe that's what's going to
insane.
happen.
So you think that maybe this season that they're going to ask for Ben Roethlisberger to be more of a captain instead of him just being like the star quarterback?
Yes.
He's
and
going to
I'm-
be the captain of the offense. He's going to be the guy that's like, okay, so maybe I can't do these things I used to do before,
Yep.
but I'm just going to be like an on-field manager and manage this offense.
And I mean, seriously,
Interesting.
these stud receivers they got in the second year, Deontay Johnson is a great short yardage, a lot of receptions. And then they got the opposite type of receiver with Claypool, a big, tall, physical beast. They can throw him bombs. He can get jump balls. They even hand the ball off to him on these jet sweeps.
Yeah.
And hey, when Juju is your third best receiver, you got a good receiving core, a really good receiving core. And yeah, Najee Harris, not only does he have the Derrick Henry potential as a running back, he has the receiving capabilities. So now they can get back to doing that stuff they did with Le'Veon Bell 4 or 5 years ago,
Right.
where they're chucking the ball to him a few years. He's breaking screens. And you know what? There's a possibility that if Ben gets hurt, their backup quarterback's not that good. What if the Steelers are the team to scoop up Cam friggin' Newton?
Oh, man.
I'm just going to go out there and say that I think that's what would
That
happen.
was the number one trending question
Interesting.
the morning that the Pats cut Cam Newton. The number one
Yes.
trending question was landing spot. Where does he land?
Right.
He doesn't
And that's
have
possible.
to
That is
sign.
possible.
He doesn't have to sign right away. He can just sit there and wait.
He can
Cam
wait, yeah.
doesn't really want to be a backup, but if
Right.
a team really needs him, he's one of the best because it's like, you know what? We only got to show you a few plays. We're going to use your running. We're going to pound you into the ground. He scored 12 touchdowns on the ground last year in New England. Yeah, he had trouble throwing it. You put him with that receiving core, short yardage, jump balls to Claypool, Najee Harris as a running back.
Yeah.
Buddy, I would fear Cam Newton playing quarterback for the Steelers. And hey, Ben has gotten hurt in the past because he does like to hold on to the ball.
Yeah.
And if that's just what happens. He
And,
doesn't.
and he's a bigger guy.
He's-
And when you're
He's
that
looked like a
big,
crippled Dan Marino at this point.
yeah, but when you're no, but as when you're a quarterback that's that big, you take hits, and you sustain injury. So
And
he's
our
not
offensive
mobile.
line is
He's
bad.
never. He's a traditional style quarterback.
Yeah.
He does not move around a lot. I mean, he's kind of in the pocket, and if you catch him, you catch him.
Yeah, he won't
And-
give up on plays.
And quarterbacks that are that big, they do sustain injury. It just happens. So
It takes longer, but it happens.
bigger guy. Yeah, they can take a more
Take
of a
the beating,
but yeah,
take a licking, but they might not still be kicking.
Exactly. He's
Yeah.
getting near 40. I mean, that draft class, they're starting to disappear. He got drafted the same year with Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers, and they're not in the league anymore.
Yes. Right.
Ben's next.
yep. Oh yeah,
So you might only have a year or two left. All right, so let's transition to NFC West, another really tough division. The bottom of that division was Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray, and they do have a chance of getting to the playoffs, but we're going to talk about the three powerhouses in that division, and we're going to talk about the San Francisco 49ers, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks. All right, the Seahawks won the division last year, made it to the playoffs. Obviously, you can never count Russell Wilson out. Their defense is not the best, but they also have a new offensive coordinator, and they're supposed to be playing a more up-tempo offense, which will be very interesting because they've never really done that before, and if they put the pressure on defenses, I don't know how you're going to stop that offense. They got a great running back, too, with Chris Carson. You got San Francisco 49ers. I don't know what's going to happen with the quarterback situation, but either way, you can't go wrong. They might be flip-flopping them, running them back and forth like the Saints do.
Garoppolo and Lance.
Yeah, they might, just bring in Trey Lance to do Cam Newton type of stuff, or he might just, outright win the job. Garoppolo has been getting hurt quite a bit. So if he goes out, they're not worried about it because Shanahan, he really knows how to make any running back work. They drafted another great running back with Trey Sermon. 2 Treys were drafted by them this past year. So they got Trey Sermon. Mostert has just been unbelievable running. They got Debo Samuel's healthy. Second-year receiver Ayuk. George Kittle is back healthy. Remember, that was one of the most injured teams last year, and that's why they fizzled out. There's a lot of depth on that team, so they can sustain a few injuries. Their defense is good as usual. And then look at the Los Angeles Rams over here making big moves, shipping Goff off to Detroit with a couple of high-round picks to get Matthew Stafford, the gunslinger, to lead the offense. Yeah, they did endure the Cam Akers injury, but they also have probably still the best defense in the league. So terminate, germinate, sperminate. Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers, Seattle Seahawks. What are you thinking, Brando?
I like the feel-good story of seeing Stafford come in here playing with McVay. He's got a good defense. He's finally got some weapons. I don't know what they're going to do with the backup running back situation, but I just know when you've got a...
Well, they did trade for Sony Michel.
Okay.
Just a couple weeks ago, they talked to Mr. Billy Belichick, and they scooped up Michel. So they got a little bit of depth.
Interesting. That guy's got experience. He's played well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I almost think you're in better shape.
It's more of a 1-2 punch, him and Henderson.
Yeah.
Henderson gets hurt quite a bit, so it's going to be rough.
I don't know. The upside is as big as Akers, but the experience is nice.
Exactly.
He's a guy that can handle the ball with an experienced quarterback. I mean, I think you really have leveled out that division now. Seattle's no longer necessarily the guaranteed win there.
Not at all. Yeah. No.
And you got the Niners, which are a sleeper team that really do look good.
Hey, they were just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago with Garoppolo.
Yeah, 2 top quarterbacks. I mean, we count out Garoppolo because of his injuries, but he also is a baller.
When he plays, he has good numbers.
Yeah.
He really does.
That's a tough call, but I always look at Seattle. I look at the coaching. I look at Wilson, and I would always, if I was I would go sperminate the Seahawks.
Okay.
I'm going to terminate the Niners because I think they're going to have a quarterback I'm the baddest guy struggles. And I think it's a little unorthodox in the sense that I don't think they're going to do any kind of switching out. I think they're going to. Okay. I think that there's going to be some strife there, and then I think you could look at the
Los Angeles Rams.
The Rams.
Yeah.
I think you look at the Rams as the feel-good story. So I'm going to germinate the Rams. I'm going to terminate the Niners and sperminate the Seahawks.
All right.
As much as I hate the Harbaughs.
Come on, nothing wrong with the Harbaughs.
Yeah, the Harbaughs.
What are you thinking, Dirt? You got?
I think that just as I said before, with aging out, I think that the Rams were great in the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
they won a game they weren't supposed to win. They got into the second round of the playoffs. I think the Rams are going to come in with a new quarterback here, and I think they're going to make some moves. So I think I'm terminating the fucking 49ers because that's worked one time in the past how many years?
Yeah.
Like the 49ers are one of those teams that's like when Steve Young or Joe Montana are not your quarterback, they just don't get the job done.
Yeah.
You know, what you had
they have all the factors and it looks like they should.
And it looks like they should, but then you had, even before Garoppolo, what's their quarterback? The guy.
Let's see. Before that,
Yeah, they went the Super Bowl with and lost to the Ravens. Drawing a blank on the name now.
Kaepernick.
They had Kaepernick. That team looked like they should have won the Super Bowl that year, and they didn't. So I'm just saying, I think they're
because of Harbaugh. Harbaugh cheated.
I'm terminating the 49ers. I'm germinating the Seahawks, and I'm sperminating the Rams.
All right.
I just think they had a great team last year. The Rams were a better team than they were on paper last year. They won games they shouldn't have won. So I think the Rams are the team.
They lost some games they shouldn't have lost.
Yeah. We're just a bunch of assholes giving our opinions.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one more asshole is me, and I am going to go with. I don't want to do this, Russell, but I think it's going to be a down year for the Seahawks. That bad defense is just shootout after shootout. It's going to be fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, but I think they're going to end up down there at the bottom of the division with the Cardinals. So I am going to terminate Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to germinate those Niners. I sort of think they built a lot of depth. They can sustain injuries to the running back. They can sustain injuries to the receiver and now even the quarterback position. And that defense, it's still a really good defense. Mm-hmm. So I think they're wild card bound. And I believe my other Super Bowl team to go against Pittsburgh Steelers is the sperminated Los Angeles Rams. A true genius of McVay will come through. He really is putting his whole future on the line. They've just been trading. A lot of these teams, they build through the draft, through these picks. Mm-hmm. He just trades them away. They trade them away to acquire Ramsey from the Jaguars. Now they traded away their former first overall pick from a few years ago with Goff, and they went for an older quarterback with Stafford because of the physical talent. And, Stafford just surrounded by so much. I'm not concerned about the Akers injury so much. I think they can do running back by committee, and it won't affect them too much. And I think it's that type of defense that even if their offense has a bad game, they will win because of having, the best defensive players like Ramsey and Donald, and they can actually go into Tampa and beat Tampa Bay after Tampa goes 16-1 this season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I was like, you just sperminated Los Angeles, just like I did, and I'm like, I kind of feel like I don't know that much about football, but I matched with you on that. So I'm like, maybe
Give
by
yourself a pat on the
osmosis,
back.
just from listening to all you fucking assholes here, I'm learning a little bit. So maybe I don't
Give
know.
yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah. Just saying.
I just like the feel-good story. I want to see Stafford success. I think McVay's great, and I think that they've got a good defense, and sometimes that's all you need.
They do.
Yeah.
To put that together. But the Niners do look like a sleepy Not necessarily. I mean, a lot of people are talking them up. I'm not saying they're the dark horse per se, but they've got depth. You made some good points there, and they do have a solid starter and a good backup quarterback too, which is a big thing. You know, I mean, not a lot of teams or even have a quarterback as good as either one of them.
Exactly.
Well, and what you're hearing people say now is when you talk about sports in general.
Yeah.
Rule of thumb is cut the league in half.
Right.
So you have the teams in the top half, the teams in the bottom half.
Yep.
And for the most part, the teams in the top half, no matter what the sport is, have the potential to compete.
Right.
The teams in the bottom half do not. So when you start talking about teams across any sports league, once you talk about those top half teams, and those top half teams are depending on what the league is, 1 to 3 games away from contending.
Right.
And when you talk about football, you only have 17 games anyway, right?
Yeah.
So those top half teams, 2 bad games can put you in a situation where you're a wild card team now.
Totally.
Right.
That's it. And that's the way it is.
Yep.
So if you have a team that can stay healthy all season long, you might not be the most talented team in your division.
Right.
But if you can stay healthy and other teams can't, then
Yeah.
that puts you in a position to win your division.
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
now health has come down to, like Brando was saying, it's COVID related.
COVID protocol,
now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
so many things involved. So, yeah, they might not get the knee injuries or whatever, soft tissue injuries, but now you got non-vaccinated players and
Right.
you know, because they said they don't want to do the rescheduling, which actually I thought that was what made last season great, but they don't want to do that, which is where now we got to put games on Tuesday, and now this game can't be played on Sunday. It's got to be played on Monday night, and you know we're doing this and that, and they bent over backwards to get all those games played. Now this year they're just like, you know what? No, we're not going to do that, which I actually think they're bluffing. Too much money to be lost. You know
Exactly,
what I mean?
yes.
But they're acting like, oh yeah, you better get everyone vaccinated because if not, you're gonna forfeit that freaking game. You know what I mean?
Well, in baseball, for example, you have 81 home games. If you lose one home game because of COVID, one home game out of 81, not
Sure.
that big of a deal.
Yeah.
When you're talking about
Football, big difference.
17 games.
Yeah.
You lose one home game,
Yeah.
that's a lot of fucking money, man.
Darn right.
That's money to the stadium. That's money to the vendors. That's money
Yep.
to your stadium staff. That's money to everybody. They are going to reschedule these games.
Yeah.
If a game can't be played because of COVID, they are going to they're saying that now because they don't want to set a precedence to say that this
Yeah.
is our plan.
That we're being lax.
Yeah, because if they make a plan, then they have to stick to the plan.
Right.
If they never say what their plan is, then they don't have to stick to the plan.
Right.
Does it make sense?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I personally think that's why they're doing that. They're
Yeah.
not saying if a game can't be played, then we're going to try to make our best opportunity to do blah blah. They're not saying that because they don't want to have to stick to that.
Right.
They're gonna play it by ear and see what happens here.
And there's always wiggle room. I mean, you got to think about how the January schedule works. You know, you got 3 weeks of playoffs, and then you have that Pro Bowl, you know, and then so, you skip 2 weeks to get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
All that can be rescheduled. If
Sure.
you have to make a 19th week just to have a game or two play to
Right.
determine what's going on to the playoffs, and then you could just scratch out, you know, there was years ago when they didn't have that 2 week layoff. They had a 1 week layoff. But you could just
Right.
set the Super Bowl one week later. They could redo all that.
don't-
It wouldn't be.
Don't you think, though, in a way, also that they're looking at it going, if it's a game that matters, then they'll reschedule it?
Exactly. Does
I think
it
so.
matter? Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and that sucks for teams out there who aren't competitive.
Yeah.
It does. But if it gets down to, like, you know, it's a game they have to schedule between two teams that have no, you know, chance of making
Yeah,
the
then who
playoffs,
cares?
then then who cares? They're not going to reschedule it. And then those franchises are going to lose that money. But I think that's what they're doing is like they're not giving you their COVID protocol for rescheduling because that's what they're doing. You know, if it's two teams that don't matter, then like, fuck it. You guys just don't
Bengals,
get to play
Jets,
that
we
game.
don't
Yeah,
care.
then we don't care. You just don't play that game. But if they were to say what their plan is, then they would have to stick to it. So by not saying it, what they're really saying is, the Jets like do we really need to see the Jets and the Jaguars play? Like, who gives a shit? So by us not saying what our plan is, you are just going to lose that home game. You're just not going to get. I mean, you're not that you're losing it, but the owners. You're not going to get that home game. You're going to lose the revenue from that game.
Yep.
But by us not saying what our plan is, then we're just going to pick and choose whether games are important enough for us to reschedule them. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Super confusing. I have no idea what they're saying, but
Many variables.
Yeah.
But they'll do it. They'll be successful like
They did
were
it last year. During the heat. Last season, during the heat of the pandemic.
Yep.
We had a game with the Broncos where they had no fucking quarterbacks, and that game still got played. So through all of COVID,
was very funny,
the NFL still got through their
kind of
entire
exciting.
season last year, and they made it happen.
And they made them pay for it. Instead of trying to do some sort of rescheduling, they were like, no, you know what? Your quarterbacks messed this up. So we're going to make you use a receiver to be your quarterback. They didn't try delaying it to a Tuesday or a Wednesday. They're like, no, you guys screwed this up. So that they might make an example out of a non-vaccinated or largely non-vaccinated roster team that makes that mistake as opposed to a team that. And I've been seeing the reports. There's teams out there like Washington. Their coach Rivera was just pissed off at a lot of his roster because a lot of them are non-vaccinated. And then you got other teams. Was it Tampa Bay that says they got everybody vaccinated? I believe. Come on, that's a competitive advantage.
Sure it is.
How
Sure
are
it
you
is.
not going to do that?
I think the first team to announce they were fully vaccinated was the Jaguars, right?
no, it was the Falcons.
The Falcons, Atlanta Falcons.
really?
Yeah.
The Falcons. The Jaguars, like I said, Urban Meyer was back and forth off the fence there with whether or not he made his decisions based on that. But let's be real. I mean, even if you're trying to be as open-minded as you possibly can with this decision, when you're looking at the NFL league decision you got your top running back, dude, I'm sorry. I know. Let's just do this. Because I can't be without you for 14 days. I think anybody that's paying and everything else involved is going to say, just do it. You're a healthy guy. This thing's not going to affect you. Granted, you could probably survive it. You're healthy both ways. We don't know what's going to impact you and what isn't. But protocol alone says, please do this. And that's where I think your NFL teams are going to have to line up, and they want to compete because they want this whole team against this whole team vaccinated.
Yeah, they want that safety net, that insurance policy
so
to go.
They can go, okay. And granted, there are still spreading, and there's players that are vaccinated that have it, and blah blah blah. But what they want is for these number of how many? It was 8 guys versus. I'm drawing a blank. My brain's in so many different directions right now. But they want
11 on 11.
11 on 11.
Yeah,
they want. That's what the league is looking for.
Right.
And if you get it, we will let you back in quicker if you're vaccinated.
Yep.
Right.
Than if you're not vaccinated, because we feel like you're going to get over your symptoms faster.
Right.
Might not be proven yet, but that's what we think.
Yeah.
Right.
So we want you to do this, and it's like it's a tough decision for a lot of people.
It's a
because you're
tough
being
decision,
forced.
but it's the same.
But you're being forced to win, just like you're being like so many other things. You go to practice early, you work out harder, you do all these things, and now there's this. I mean, I feel like NFL, if anything, is one situation where people are gonna line up to do it because they're so competitive.
It's really no different than any other situation where if you test positive for marijuana or you test positive for PEDs, there's repercussions.
Right.
Correct? So there's no difference between testing positive for that or testing positive for COVID. The difference is if you test positive for PEDs, then minimum suspension is this.
Yeah.
If you test positive for COVID, it's like, okay, if vaccinated, this is the penalty. If non-vaccinated, this is the penalty.
Right.
So teams are looking at it going, all right, if I got this running back here and he's not vaccinated and he tests positive, then I'm going to lose him for 2 weeks.
Right.
But I get this other running back who maybe a smidge below this guy, but he is vaccinated. So if he tests positive, I'm only losing for 3 days or
Right.
2 tests or whatever. Then
Right.
I'm just going to play my, weigh my options, roll the dice, and go with the guy who I know I'm going to lose for less, less
Right.
time if he tests positive. So
Yeah.
there's a lot going into it there, but it's really no different than any other testing protocol.
Yeah.
It's not,
Yep. And I think if it came down to real world circumstances and you have your employer coming to, your average Joe, hey, or hiring your average Joe, either way, want a vaccinated guy, non-vaccinated guy, think about that. We're going to hire some guy and now, okay, you can't work for 2 weeks or whatever because you didn't even try. At least if you
Right.
try to get vaccinated,
Yeah.
you got a leg up. I mean, what are you going to do? We're just going to send you home and pay for you not to work or whatever. I mean, it's
right. Yeah.
it's a tough situation
That's-
for you. If my employer's, hey, you got to get vaccinated or you're not coming to work. I'm going to get vaccinated. I want to lose my job.
Yeah, I want to work. Yeah,
I mean, good
I wanna
Lord.
Make, I want to make money.
And if not, then the alternative, and that's just average work. These guys in the NFL, hey, they have a short shelf life. You got to make the
And they won the
most
lottery.
out of you. Totally.
They won the lottery.
Yeah, you got to take advantage
Think
of
about
it.
just the three of us sitting at the table right here. All of us grew up with the aspirations of how awesome would it be to play pro sports,
Oh,
right?
Unbelievable.
And
yeah.
and we never got there.
No.
So then you look at these guys who are there, and you're like, "Come on, dude, really?"
Yeah.
Just
I would do whatever.
I would-
Yeah, unbelievable.
I remember hearing somebody say before, I would crawl over 3 miles of broken glass on my hands and knees to listen to a bitch fart through a walkie-talkie to get this fucking job.
Yeah.
And you have it right now, and you won't go just get it. I mean, come on. Like, you won the lottery, man. You got what
Yeah.
every kid on every Pop Warner field all over America wants. You got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's going to be an interesting season, and I hope that we don't see too much of what we saw. But the reality is, we are going to see that. We're going to see quarterbacks sitting out, but I think it makes it interesting if they make them play. It changes everything. It goes back to the days of old when men were sent off to war, and they had to go out with their crew that they had. And I feel like it's similar situation. So I mean, if anything, that we can look at it as fun, it's like is just the fact that it's a change. It's this team versus this team. Are they going to cream them? I don't know. It might be fun to watch him just roll over him. Or is this guy going to step up? We saw the Milwaukee Bucks step up this year in the face of injuries.
True. Very true.
We saw some interesting things happen in the NBA, and maybe we're going to see some of the same, highlight reels and whatnot in the NFL with people stepping out. So
The roller coaster
see.
ride will start Thursday.
Yeah.
This Thursday, 5 days away.
5 days away.
You guys got anything else coming up this week?
I know, but you
much.
do.
What you got going
You
on?
do.
Do I?
Yeah.
What do I got
No,
going
your
on?
new record just dropped this week.
Oh, we do have a new album, yeah. And I do have a 3-album release show coming up here in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the new album though, dude. The album cover, his new album is called "The Hardest Working Man in Shoe Business."
Right on.
And dude, that album cover is bad as fuck.
Well, you know who did that?
Evan Schaffer.
You're darn right. Our voice guy.
I wish that that it was possible to press that on 12-inch vinyl because I just would
yeah.
love to have a 12-inch
Yeah.
version of that album cover. It's badass.
Wait till you
Yeah.
see the back of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I sort of wanted to put that on the front. So, there's
yeah.
special treats in there.
man.
So
yeah.
Where's the show at in 3 weeks from now?
That'll be Will's Pub. I've been waiting a long time. That's why I've finished 3 albums in the past year and a half. Usually we do an album release, every 9 months or whatever. And, we're just getting, backed up with the spermination. I've been waiting for everything to calm down, and then I end up booking a show, and you got to book these months in advance. And now the variant's running wild.
I know.
I was just
yeah.
talking to the sound guy there the other day, Jordan, and he's like, it's been busy this whole summer, and now this past month it's died down.
Yeah.
I was like, who knows who's going to be at the show, but we're going to show up. We're going to have fun.
That's
playing-
September 25th.
24th, Friday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
So, that'll be a fun one.
Who you playing with?
Steve Guerin's going to lead off the show. Orlando music veteran, used to be in Precious.
Yep. Fresh. I remember. Yeah.
He's got a wonderful foot pedal collection. So he will be starting off with Steve Guerin and the Guarantees. And then we have Danilo that used to be in Yogurt Smoothness.
Danilo Krios.
Yeah. He's
Yep.
a real good guy. So he's bringing his new band, Trash Cinema. They will be ending the night. So hopefully everybody stays healthy and we have a 3-band bill and everything goes smooth. And, I can get rid of 3 of these albums.
And also, you released is it the final Hippie Gone Wrong album?
I wanted to call it the Hippie Gone Wrong album because that was the album. That was the band that Bobby and I were in together.
Will this is the last Hippie Gone Wrong album? You think, or what?
I believe that was sort of a band that we stopped playing years ago together. Bobby went and did his stuff, and I went and did my stuff with the franchise and feedback and all that. So. But that was Hippie Gone Wrong was always a collaboration band for me. So Bobby and I got to collaborate back in the day, and then it was fun getting his leftover recordings, and I had to take those and do a lot of work to them because they were like lo-fi.
So if I can say so, Bobby Clock, which Todd, Big T had, we all had our Bobby Clock moments. Bobby Clock was an amazing musician. He passed away 2 years ago. And so these recordings, so this final Hippie Gone Wrong album, are literally, it was a shoebox full of cassette tapes that Danny got after Bobby passed. And it was all unfinished. So you took those cassette tapes and you finished the album, correct?
Yeah, so I took a lot of them were lo-fi. Some of them were closer to finished songs than not. Some of them really were just like parts I had to loop and sample and create a song out of. And I got a lot of his friends and local area musicians to add tracks, like Jim Ivey laid saxophone. Your brother Fritz played drums, got Evan to play drums, Caesar, Dr. Moonstein, his ex-girlfriend Kat, many people. My girl Pi, she even played keyboards. It's a little bit sad and somber. A lot of the lyrics were very heavy that he did. A lot about death and dying, oddly enough.
Yeah.
But a very unique album. Not a rock and roll album. A lot of Bobby's stuff was sort of like psychedelic Nirvana sounding.
Yeah.
This is not psychedelic Nirvana sounding whatsoever.
Yeah, it's very, very, very dark.
Very dark. Yeah. So,
Hmm.
but very interesting. So that was fun to do a collaboration.
It's still a great record, though.
Oh, yeah, very much so, because it has its own flavor where you can't put it in a specific genre. So once I hear
it's
an
all over the
album,
place.
I can't say, hey, this is garage rock or this is metal or this is punk. I can't really describe it. All I know is it's good music and every song to the next is a different flavor. So, I'm very proud of the direction that he was going. It's a shame that he couldn't go into a high-dollar studio and do it, but at the same time, Bobby was more of a lo-fi do-it-yourselfer, so it's cool that a lot of his friends got to help him complete that final album.
Yeah, and at least get to see it done, see it released. So,
yeah.
Sounds badass.
Yeah,
I'm excited
should be
to
a
hear
fun one. Should be a fun one.
Very excited to hear that.
Oh, yeah. So other than that, so you got the show coming up, and then and what do you got this week?
Geez, pretty much nothing. I mean, it's Saturday night, finishing up the show. I'm going to might go by St. Andrews and hang out.
Orlando City 132.
Flirt with Liz's girlfriend a little bit.
Whoa,
You know,
easy.
why not?
Easy.
She keeps me a believer. I don't know. I'm just a guy surviving on minimum wage over here.
Surviving on spermination. Oh, Lord.
Oh, man.
What are you doing?
Same old shit, man. Tomorrow's another game. Rays trying to win 102 games this season.
Right on.
Going to the playoffs. Number one team in baseball.
All right, Tampa Bay. All right, for our producer, Dirt, our guru of good brew, Brando, our Big T, Little Odd.
Here I'm not.
I'm Danny Feedback. You've been listening to the Ball Busters. Come on!